And welcome to Sports on Tap. We're live at Z's Cream and Bean in Hinckley, Ohio, 2706 Boston Road. Have some special guests to start off the show. We know him very well. He was the offensive coordinator at Brunswick, but now he's the head coach of the Buckeye Bucks varsity football team. They have a 10-0 record, but he carries a 24-8 record since coming to the Bucks in 2013. They'll take on the number 6 Chesterland West Geauga team. They're 9-1 this year. Head coach Mark Pinzone joins us. And Coach, thanks for taking time to join us here tonight at Z's.
Thank you very much, Rob. Appreciate being here. We really appreciate having us on tonight.
And you also brought, some players that have been pretty important. There's other players, obviously, on your team that have been important here. But Trevor Thome, he's the running back, and Nathan Polidori is the quarterback on the team. When you first got to Buckeye, talk about what you kind of went into in trying to transition from one team to a Buckeye Bucks team that might be a little bit smaller out there.
Well, I actually had a little chance to be at a smaller school. I didn't come directly from Brunswick to Buckeye. I was at Holy Name High School for a few years in between there, and so I got a little whiff of, my staff and I had a little whiff of the smaller school atmosphere, Catholic school, but the smaller school look. And so when we came over to Buckeye in 2013, what I did was, I was kind of familiar with Medina County with all those years at Brunswick, and talked to some people, and at the time talked to Brian Williams and Glenn Reisner, our superintendent and athletic director, and it just seemed like a real good fit in a lot of different ways, and not to bore you with details, but certainly location was a part of it, and part of it was a personal decision. Holy Name was a fantastic place for myself and our staff, and had a wonderful experience there. They're great, good people, Catholic people there, but it got a little bit demanding on my family. I have a young little boy at home, and my staff were primarily living in Brunswick and Medina and Strongsville, and they were getting kind of beaten up with travel and their family obligations. So, over at Buckeye, what I had learned was, it's certainly close to where we were living, so geographically it was a nice fit. And, back into public school, which is kind of what we were used to at Brunswick, and Buckeye's very, centralized. The elementary school, the junior high, and the high school are right there. A lot of land, a lot of property, so I knew we had a lot of space to practice on and do some things. And then I kind of looked at the ins and outs of what they had, and the first thing that's very easy to look at on the negative side is it's a district that struggles financially, and I think that's not a secret, and they know that. But and it's not that they take pride in that, but what they do is it's a group of people that just don't give up over there. They're very hard-working, community members there. They work hard, find a way. I love the story that they had 10 years ago. They almost lost their sports, and they self-funded. That was, well before these guys were, they were pretty young, but I'm sure they remember. And I knew about that when we were back at Brunswick several years back. And I spoke with Chris Medaglia, who was a good friend of mine. He's the AD at Valley Forge over there. And, Chris and I have a relationship, and he had kind of shared with me his experience at Buckeye. And through all that, I spoke with my family and spoke with the coaches, guys like Coach Nowak and Yarwood and Turner and Dooling and Coach Fask, all those guys that are with us right now. And we said, this is the place. Let's go work with these guys. And I know I'm kind of yapping here, but, kind of getting right to your question, there was definitely some problems when I went into the program there. And it wasn't the kids. It wasn't the players. It was just there wasn't very many players. I was a little concerned about that. There was about 45 kids, 9th through 12th, and just a variety of reasons why that occurred. They had a little difficulty. The records were bad for a couple years, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. But we came in there, and I felt like we could work with these young men. They seemed like nice young men, and the other part was that the administration said, "Here you go, Coach Pinzone, take care of it." And so to have that freedom to make some decisions and implement what I wanted to implement. From a day-to-day basis, to the weight room, to the fundraising, to the parents, to the youth, to the junior high. So I made some changes, hired and fired some people, to be honest with you. And then I saw that sophomore class, which was these guys right now, they're seniors. And I said, we're going to build it around that and see what happens. And here we are.
Yeah, and Trevor and Nathan, you guys were part of the program growing, up until, 10th grade when Coach Pinzone took over. What major differences have you seen? And I know you guys were a little on the younger end there, but when Coach Pinzone took over, in his staff, and these are all guys that we played for ourselves. What are the major differences that you saw, and kind of take us through the transition and kind of where you're at now.
A couple major differences, like football was like there's something fun to do. It's kind of like took up time before. Then we got these new coaching staff, like it turned into this was our job almost. Like, it was for real now. It was high school varsity football, and that's what we were going to make it to be. And, before Coach Pinzone and his staff got here, we didn't expect to win. We kind of just went out there and let's have some fun, maybe make a couple plays, maybe we'll get the win. And now it's like Coach Pinzone's instilled in us that when we go out on the field, we expect to win, and that's a big thing that's changed. And like working in the weight room and stuff has changed with Coach Musil. Used to play for Coach Pinzone at Brunswick. He makes us work really hard in the weight room, and that helps us out on the field a lot more too. And before they got here, we didn't really have much of a weight room program.
Yeah, I agree with what Trevor said. Coach Pinzone always talks about making us a first-class program, and before that, we didn't have organization. We were, had interim coaches that were scrambling to get the job done. But now we have, tradition and, like he always says, first-class program.
Talk about the season, guys. You guys pretty much went through a magical season. 10-0 is good enough, but the way that you guys played and the point differential that you guys had between the games, I think you gave up less than 70 points all year. 4 shutouts, I believe, something along those lines. Talk about what kind of a magical year you guys had and how your confidence built throughout the season. It's
definitely been magical. It's been a fun ride, and but I don't want to get too caught up in it right now because we're not done yet, and we got some more games left, and we don't want to start talking about the past, but we played a lot. We played pretty well all year. Our confidence has definitely grown, especially after the first 2 weeks. Going in the first 2 weeks, we haven't won in the first couple games in quite a while. So those first 2 games really got us some confidence, and then we just kind of rolled from there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, our grade has been pretty special since in 8th grade we had an undefeated season. So we kind of knew big things were coming, and everybody since the day after the season ended last year, there was an article in the paper. It said look into the future for the Bucks. And in the off season, everybody just worked hard, worked on their responsibility, and everybody's just really dominated their position.
And speaking about this week's game against Chesterland West G. I mean, what do you guys think so far? And what do you guys think about the team that you guys are going up against? And this is for all 3 of you guys.
West Geauga, they're definitely a very good team. We're gonna have to bring our A game if we want to win. And it's Division III football and it's the playoffs, so no slouches left. Everyone's for real, and it's going to be a fun game. It'll be intense. So I think it'll be very competitive, and may the best team win.
I know we're all gonna lay it all on the line. We're all gonna play our hardest. There's gonna be nothing left after the game.
These guys do a great job. They know just what to say, and I got a program pretty well here,
right.
so because they don't want to run extra. But the fact is, we all know this. You've heard this from every coach, every player, and every radio broadcaster. When you get in the playoffs, there's no slouches. It's the best of the region. The region that we're in, Division III, Region 7, is just one heck of a region. When you have teams like Archbishop Hoban and St. Vincent St. Mary and Poland Seminary and Louisville and Canfield, all those schools. It's serious stuff, and West Geauga is right there. And we've watched a lot of film on them Saturday and Sunday, and we watched as a team here today quite a bit. And they're athletic, they're fast, they're disciplined, they're well coached. They've had a tremendous amount of success. They haven't lost since their first week against Chardon. They do some things that we certainly understand. We've seen before. Their coverages and the way they line up on defense and on offense. They're creative. They're quick. They do some different stuff, and they don't mind being original and creative. So we're going to have to be ready. It really is a testament to our kids. I think that they will be ready. I'm not worried one bit that they will be prepared. They'll be committed to winning this game. I know that they're all in. I get more credit than I deserve. We're at a point right now that it's actually been a challenge for myself to back away and not be. I'm kind of a little obsessive compulsive in my organization, how I do stuff, and I've had to learn this year. There's a learning year for me after 21 years of I need to stay back and let my coaches coach and let our players play. And these 2 young men, the reason why I bring them is because I'm fully confident in them and a lot of other players that they will take care of stuff. They have decision-making power. They have input from picking sweatshirts and hoodies and T-shirts out to are we going to condition, what plays we want to run, how we want to do stuff in the weight room, what we're ordering for food. They're how we're going to do pregame, when they want to go out. And I don't want to say I let them do that, but I absolutely have confidence in them, because if I didn't believe they could, then yeah, I would be taking over making those decisions. That's my job, and I don't feel that way at all. So it's actually been kind of nice for me, and we know darn well as coaches and me as the head coach that, you know, it really is the kids. You know, coaches are only as good as their players. You know, and we have just, these guys they're just great players, and now they're going to go against some other great players at West G and in this region. And it's, you know, we said, you know, it's not 41 to nothing is going to be hard to do. You know, we'd love to do that again, and you know, we had a lot of those, you know, like shutout games and where our defense gave up less than 7 points a game, and those were great, and we'd love to do that again. But whatever it takes, no matter what the score is, like Trevor said, we expect to win.
When you have an all-star cast, you know, coaching with you, when you talked about some of the coaching there that helped coach us when we played, then you take them over to Buckeye, and I'm sure, you know, they're helping these guys out, and they've kind of will help you prepare. When you look offensively, Nathan's having a great year just organizing, being a leader on this team. Do you let him open it up and let him call plays sometimes or change plays at the line of scrimmage? You don't see that too often in high school, but if he sees something defensively that maybe you don't see, do you let him change the plays?
The answer is yes and no. First of all, Coach Bill Turner's our offensive coordinator, who's outstanding, and we've been together and we've been friends for a long, long time, and he has total control. If I want to, you know, make a few changes here or there, that's one thing. But between him and Coach Nowak running the offense, they do a great job, and Coach Musil at receivers. And what we'll do is like a lot of high schools, we'll give Nathan some check plays. But yeah, he's entitled to read some certain things. You're reading defensive ends, and I don't want to give away the pot here, but you know, so I'll keep it kind of vague in general. But yeah, Nathan has some of the authority to make some changes, to make some decisions. But we'll do some other things, and if you watch how we do things offensively, you'll see that we have a kind of a fast offense, and then we have a slower offense, we call look offense, and where we'll give an opportunity for both Nathan and the eyes in the sky, which is Coach Turner, to take a look at how they're lined up and do some things. Now I'll just kind of leave it at that, and let Nathan say a few things.
Yeah. I mean, most of it is reads during the play. You know, I'm pretty trusted with that. You know, there's always a read, but I mean, pre-snap, there's like some things I can do. You know, I think I'm pretty trusted, I would say. I don't know, Coach Turner. He gets pretty controlling sometimes, but you know, I think that we all, you know, trust our coaches more than a lot of kids. I think, you know, we know that they're going to make the right decisions for us. You know, they're thinking about the future, they're thinking about now, and you know, they're trying to get us better every play.
How fun has this season been offensively for you guys? I mean, the numbers you guys have been putting up have been insane, really. I mean, nobody seems to be able to stop you this year. You haven't really had too many close games. Rocky River, a good team, made the playoffs, and you guys, you know, blew them out of the water. What's fun about this offense for you guys? You know, it's a lot of different things being thrown out there. How easy is it for you and fun to be in this kind of offense?
Well, I mean, we've been running it for 3 years, so it's like, you know, it's becoming second nature to us. You know, everybody knows we run jet, you know, and redskin, but it's really, you know, we have so many guys that make plays. You know, our line does a great job, and then our playmakers just make plays. You know, it's opportunities, and our coaches give us a lot of opportunities to, you know, put the ball in the end zone. And, you know, we get a little greedy sometimes. You know, when we get 5 yards on a jet, we're like, dang it, you know, why didn't that go for 20 yards? But I mean, it's good that we have that mentality, and also, you know, sometimes it can get bad.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience. It's pretty fun running the offense that we run, and just the team and our scheme in general, both sides of the ball, all three phases of the ball, including special teams. But offensively, it's really fun. You know, like Nathan said, we have so many guys that can make plays, which just makes it that much easier on us and that much more fun and that much more difficult on the defense because they have to prepare for that much more. And having that many guys that are trusted and that can make plays when given opportunities, and having the coaches that give us the opportunities that we are given, like in the schemes and the positions that we're in, it really makes for an entertaining offense, I think.
And Coach Pinzone, let's talk a little bit about the defense. I mean, as we talked about, you guys have held teams to under 70 points combined. I was fortunate enough to play in a defense that also did that, and you know, how about
really?
that?
Wow.
Ding. Nice. So let's talk about some of the
chocolate milk for you.
Exactly. 14 years ago. Let's talk about some of your defenders. I mean, who's been really stepping up on defense for you guys and making some plays?
Well, in small school, it's not like the days of Brunswick, Ed, where we're 3-4 deep at almost every position. Somebody goes down, okay, hey, man, get to the locker room. We'll see you in a few weeks. We got someone else, At Buckeye, we got 70 guys on the roster, but that's 9th through 12th. And
right.
A lot of our guys are going both ways, and that's just how it is in some Division III situations. And so, you're looking at two guys right here. Trevor plays just about every down, and I mean he's going to play until he loses a leg, and I mean I'm not letting him come out, and he's going to play running back, he's going to play receiver, and he's our safety, and he has to play. Nathan's playing corner, and now we try to preserve our quarterback. Our philosophy is we'd like to keep our quarterback, the most important position on the field, a little bit rested, but right now there's no rest, and it's playoffs, and if he's the best, then he's playing. These two certainly have made some plays, but the guys up front. They're pretty special, Hunter Gray and Jalen Brock and Brad Calta, and we've got a kid Jack Schroeder coming back to help us, and these guys just Bruce Barnaby, they're up front, and our linebackers Jared Yeoman and Dustin McCullough and Kyle Zaverko. That front seven, they've just stopped people left and right with Coach Yarwood's defense, and Coach Yarwood, you remember him, he's a surly son of a gun, he's just and he kind of prides himself on that defense always being neglected. I mean, he put a moratorium on one of the, I'm not going to say what newspaper outlet, but they didn't get the props that they thought the defense should have gotten a shutout. It was all offense. So he said they were not allowed to talk to this particular newspaper outlet for the rest of the season. Well, the problem is those same guys play on offense. So, I don't know how that's going to work, Coach, but he gets them kind of going, gets them mad and gets them aggressive, and yeah, they've done fantastic, and it's very easy to talk about offense. You know that in today's football, it's all how fast you can score, do this, do that, do something. Offense, they say the whole thing: offense sells tickets, defense wins championships, and I think our offense and defense is strong, and our coaches and players, no matter whether they play one way or two ways, they've just done a fantastic job.
Now going by what your players are saying here, they've definitely bought into the program. This is your third year, and we see from our professional football team in the area, it's very hard to change a culture. You came into Buckeye from Holy Name, coming from a winning program at Brunswick for all those years. How difficult was it for you to kind of change the culture that wasn't so much into athletics and football in general, and then trying to gain support from the community? And now you guys are 10-0, and how is the community support for you guys?
Well, going backwards with your questions, the community support is fantastic, and it's emotional for them, I mean, and it's pretty simple, when you win, that helps, winning helps, and we all know that, but they've stood by us, and we've improved each year. They love their football out there, the Buckeye District is a bit unique because it's a compilation of 4 districts, York Township, Valley City, Litchfield, and some pieces and parts of Medina. And so it's a little different that way, geographically and demographically, but they're very supportive. And when you ask about what it was like to change the culture, again, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it might be. There was a lot of things that needed to be changed, but because we had great kids at the freshman, sophomore level that year, the first year there, and I knew that we have a fantastic coaching staff. The district definitely wanted changes. The school wanted to win, and people are going to jump on, and that's what you want. And I'm very confident in my system and in our system our staff has, and our coaching staff is more than just coaches. They're educators. They're teachers. And so, we taught these guys football, just like you teach a social studies class or a math class or whatever. We taught them the game of football. You don't just run around and run plays. Here's your technique. Here's the reason. Here's, and we used film. We used in the weight room. We used meetings and certainly on the field. And we taught them a new way, and they embraced that. And the fact that the kids are intelligent, and we're open-minded, it made my job much easier, and everybody else kind of fell in line. And when you put people in the right positions, and I don't want to kind of use some of my business background, I believe that a high school football team is I don't want to say like a company, because it's not a job. It's still high school football. You're talking about individuals and young men and their families and those kinds of things, and it's a community thing, but it's still an organization. You have to run that organization in an efficient manner that's organized and with a plan. And I think that my staff and I brought that in, and it's a very organized program. It really is. We always have areas to improve in, but we've done a great job, and the kids are at the heart of that.
Now, we didn't talk about the offensive line, and they've been opening up holes for the running game and also protecting the quarterback. Talk a little bit about the offensive line that's done a great job for you guys.
Well, I'm going to let
far.
Nathan talk about that because they protect him, not me. So.
Yeah. So last year, I'm based off of experience. So last year, I kind of had to run around a little bit, do some Johnny Manziel-like quarterbacking. But
it's funny you mentioned that because you're wearing a money hoodie there.
We'll have to get a picture of that before the day's out, put it on our Facebook page.
So, this year I haven't had to do, really any, not much, if any. They gave me a lot of time. I think that's part of the reason why, our completion percentage is, almost 70%, is because of them. They give me time. The receivers get open, and then, they make plays. But even running the ball, we're averaging, 7 yards a carry, something like that probably. And, they just make big holes. They work hard. They're smart linemen. They're not just big fat guys. They know what they're doing.
They'd appreciate that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
They're not real good looking.
Definitely not. But they do a great job. Trevor knows that too.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is your offensive linemen are expecting a nice gift at the football banquet at the end of the season.
Yeah, I'll be happy to buy them dinner anytime they want.
Well, if they're listening to that, they might take you up on that.
Absolutely. Hey, you guys are being seniors now. I mean, how are you guys working with the younger guys to kind of make sure that this doesn't go away after you guys leave? I mean, what kind of stuff are you? I mean, are you kind of helping them along? Are you really incorporating them into the culture of the program? I mean, I know you kind of have to because it is a smaller program, but we've seen some programs where the seniors just kind of do their own thing and be done with it. I have to assume it's not the same way with you guys.
No, it's definitely not that way. We have, starting with the sophomores, we got a couple sophomores that are key players on our team right now. So, and the sophomore class is pretty solid. The junior class is solid. The freshman class coming up, they're pretty good. So, I think it helps a lot too in varsity games when we're up by 40 in the second half, and our JVs 2s and 3s get to go in and they play a lot, and that nothing like game time experience, so that helps them a lot. And in practice, Coach Turner and Coach Yarwood, they do a great job of getting everyone involved. Subbing guys in, giving guys varsity looks so they know what to expect. And me and Nate, we're pretty good friends with a lot of the younger guys too. We hang out not just at football, not just at school, but outside of school, outside of football. And so I think that helps a lot too, and I think that they're pretty confident and they're ready to go next year.
A lot of people don't think about what you do in practice, and it's the scout guys. I mean, those are the younger guys. They're doing a great job getting us ready for games, and we have a lot of great relationships with them. Me and Trevor actually sit with a bunch of freshman football players at lunch, and I'm great friends with the backup quarterback who's a sophomore. And they're going to be good. When they get to be seniors, they're gonna win games.
I think it's great that they even get a chance to get under the lights on Friday night because a lot of teams, if you have close games, probably second, third string aren't going to have a chance to play. Do you guys have any superstitions though? That's one question I have. You guys are 10-0. Is there one thing that you guys continually have to do because you guys are 10-0 and you've just completely dominated so far this year? So is there one thing that you guys have to do on a regular basis before these games, or are going to continue that?
There's really only one thing I could think of. Me and Nate are both kind of the same boat. We didn't cut our hair before the season started.
I was going to ask you, is that an Anderson Varejao look you're going to?
Yeah, and we're not going to cut it till we lose. So.
Oh man.
We're not planning on cutting it anytime soon.
Wow.
I like to tell my coach, some of the coaches are pretty superstitious. They got their things before games, and I really try to make it. Maybe it's a superstition not having superstitions. You know what I mean?
Just go out and play.
Yeah, I try not to do the same thing twice every week. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
The thing of it is it's not so much superstitions or you can write little stories about. It's more routine, and that's what I ask them to do is to be on a routine. I don't want them to be thrown off. What they do individually or as groups, if the linemen do whatever, that's fine. How they wear their hair, how they do whatever they want to do. And Nathan likes to be a little different and be loose. That's fine. But what Trevor forgot was today he told me that I asked him what he wanted to do for conditioning, because this week we're trying to get a little bit a little healthier and make sure we're rested. We're in week 11, and running 10 miles up and down hills isn't necessarily what we need right now. And what he wanted to do? He wanted to do what we do on Monday for our conditioning for 5 or 10 minutes, and so we did it. And I was willing actually to be the one that said, no, we don't have to do this. Let's keep our legs fresh. And he said, no, let's do what we do. So, actually they are a little bit, I don't know if it's superstitious as it is just more routine. And, our pregame, how we do things when we, the way we do things. I think that young men need, a routine or a plan. Now, how and if you notice, they don't even realize some of the stuff they're doing. Where they sit in certain spots, in the auditorium when we have pregame meetings. They do certain things, for pregame meals and whatever it is that makes them comfortable. Different coaches have different philosophies. Some coaches want people to do exactly this, that, and the other thing. What I want is to have a framework that they do that I want them to do, and then after that, let them work into their comfort zone within my framework, within my system, or our system, I should say. And whatever's comfortable for our coaches and our players, that's my job, is to put them in the position to be able to do that. And so if he wants to work on throwing, or he wants to work on running, or the pregame stuff, that's key, And so I expect them, what I expect them to do is do what they need to do to get them prepared. Now, if they need help from me or my coaches, then so be it, our coaches. But they know what to do. So,
any last questions for the guys before we let them off the hook tonight?
I'm good, man. Good luck on
good
Friday,
luck,
guys.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, I have to say thank you very much, man. Look at you guys are dating me, man. I feel just old as heck. I remember when you were little dunderhead pipsqueaks in my high school class at Brunswick, thinking you knew all about finance and law and all that in my class, and running around in Brunswick. It's great to see you guys are doing a fantastic job, and you've got this thing going, and I hope you'll have us back. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, we will.
We'd love to. And like I said, good luck. I want to thank head coach of the Buckeye Bucks, Mark Pinzone. We have Trevor Thome, the running back, and Nathan Polidori, the quarterback. Guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right. I want to thank them for joining us up at Z's Cream and Bean in Hinckley, and wish them the best of luck as they take on the number 6 Chesterland West Geauga team at 9-1 coming up on Friday night. Coming up, running back from Strongsville, Zach Kahn's coming up to talk about probably the Brunswick game that they had this last week and his season, all coming up. We're Sports on Tap, live from Z's Cream and Bean in Hinckley, Ohio.
we came in there and I felt like we could work with these young men. They seem like nice young men, and the other